Today we're going to do a fun technique with isopropyl alcohol. I recommend the 91%. It evaporates quickly and works well for this technique. Hi everybody, it's Kelly from Collage-Lab, and I've got some mixed media March minis for you. I've pre-painted some book pages, and we're going to put a contrasting color on. And the key here is your paint, when you put it on, is got to be pretty thin. Pretty thin. You don't want it to dry out. So I'm going to use some of the golden high flow acrylics. These I don't need to water down. They're pretty watered down as they are. So I'm going to just brush this on, yellow over the blue, which is kind of making a green, but I want this paint to stay wet. Brush it on over the first color, and then I'm going to take some alcohol and drop some drips into it. And see how that color from beneath is coming out. I'm going to make some really fun collage papers. Next up, I've got a purple background. I'm going to use the Naphtha Red Light. These are the high flow acrylics. So I'm just going to squirt some down here, spread it around with my brush. Regular fluid acrylics will work too. I'll do that in a minute. You will want to add some water because we do not want this to dry out before we add our alcohol. So red on purple and drops of alcohol. Pretty cool, huh? So we want this to totally dry. Next up, I've got a green. I'll go ahead and use, I'm going to use black. I'm just going to use black acrylic paint. So I do want to water this down a bit. We want the paint to stay very wet. So I'm going to put the black over the green. And again with my drops of alcohol. You can also spatter. You don't want circles. You want more droplets. Depending on how much alcohol goes down, depends on the size of the circle. So that one's pretty cool. Set that aside to dry. All right, I've got a red background. I'm going to mix up some purple. This is golden fluid acrylics. And again, I'm going to add some water to it. I want this to stay very wet. If it dries out as you're brushing it on, you will not get the same effect. So purple over my red. Watery paint is the best. Yeah, we'll see how that works. I don't know. Again, with alcohol, drop. Ooh. It's kind of fun. Just do some spatter and do one more because I'm running out of running out of drying space here. So I've got the teal down here, and the other teal I did a yellow over. Let me go ahead and do green, high flow acrylic. Let me find a clean brush. Larger brush would probably work better here. I just grab the first thing. So I'm going to make sure this stays wet. They got to work fast. And then the magic happens with the alcohol. And just drops, little splatters. These are going to be really fun collage papers when they're dry. And that is step one. So I am really excited about how these alcohol papers turned out, and I'm going to tear them up and make a little mini collage out of them. So I'm just going to tear some strips. So I'm just going to tear some strips here out of these papers, and just fun colors and really interesting patterns going on here. So let's see how these little strips look. I'm surprised how much I like some of these color combinations. And you may be looking at these going, these don't go together at all, Kelly. Now I'm going to show you a way to make them work. Look at those fun patterns. Oops. That one's not quite straight. All right, so I've got some of these fun little papers in strips, and I have my index card divider, and I am going to just put down a background of strips of paper. Trim off some of the white edges here. Okay, so I got an idea of size, and I'm just going to glue them down, overlap them. this is certainly colorful for a background. I think I'm going to repeat that at the bottom. Okay, so there's my colorful background. I am going to, got some fun little book, vintage book image here. And I think, let's see how it goes. I'm cutting her out with a little edge of white because with all those colors, I think I want the images to stand out a little bit. All right, so I don't know if I want this horizontal or vertical. I think I kind of like that. The images are kind of vertical with her being tall, and then have the vertical stripes of color in the background. So let's glue them down. And there's today's mini collage.